Hello everybody, welcome to the initiative that we organized with with our cluster, the Tuscan technology cluster on energy and green economy, and the Hungarian cluster Co.Svi.G. Thank you for coming here to colleagues from the Co.Svi.G clusters. And thank you to joining the meeting to those that are participating from the web. I think we can start. We are waiting for someone, physical presence of Steam, but I think they will come soon because they sent us an email yesterday evening confirming their presence here. And but I will start with a short introduction to the morning and to our cluster, the technology cluster on energy and green economy. Okay. Just a short introduction to this morning, to the Geothermal Business Forum Italy, Hungary. The program of this morning, I will make a short presentation on our cluster and the managing body of the cluster, which is Co.Svi.G, the company where I work. Then we will make a presentation of the Co.Svi.G cluster, and then we will give you the floor. We will give the floor to the companies member of the Italian cluster and the Hungarian cluster. About the technology cluster on energy and green economy. The technology cluster on energy and green economy is managed by Co.Svi.G, the consortium for the development of geothermal areas. The objective of our cluster is to strengthen the competitiveness of the regional energy and green economy sectors. Through the engagement and the dissemination the engagement of our companies and the engagement with universities and research centers to disseminate the innovation and the sharing of knowledge, skills, and know-how through a public-private governance. Our cluster groups among 160 subjects which are involved in the sectors of the energy and green economy in Tuscany. We are focused on 5 main areas. The first area is the introduction of the liquefied natural gas as a new energy vector. The increase of the penetration of the electric vector and indirect CO2 reduction, the direct reduction of the CO2 footprint, the promotion of the renewable energies, as in particular geothermal, but not only geothermal, also solar and biomass, and the interconnection between different energy systems, and to hybridize plants. The services that we offer to our members are the dissemination of technological innovation, the promotion of business matching and the creation of partnership, and this is the second point is the aim of this morning. We promote the creation and the creation of sectoral expertises. We support our companies in searching the funding for innovation. We support our companies in their internationalization activities, and we work on capacity building activities. Concerning the geothermal supply chain, our members can cover almost all the supply chain for the power generation and for the direct use of geothermal energy. And partially, we can cover also the supply chain linked to the shallow geothermal energy. As you can see in this table, the number is the number on the right are the number of subjects that are dealing with in each part of that are working in each part of the geothermal supply chain. The table is divided in subsurface systems, concerning both the services and the technologies related to the subsurface systems to power generation, direct uses, and shallow geothermal energy. The surface systems concerning technologies and services, and the challenges related to the technology innovation and the monitoring of, for example, monitoring of environmental impacts, studies on the environmental performance of geothermal plants in general, and the demo sites and the capacity building for technicians and operators of the geothermal sector. In this field, we have among our members, we have, as I was saying before, we have research centers and universities that are carrying out capacity building activities. So our cluster aims at promoting business opportunities for its member companies through the world geothermal supply chain. In this table, you can see a sort of summary of capabilities of our companies in the different sectors of geothermal energy. So both power generation, direct uses, and shallow geothermal resources. As you can see, our cluster is lacking only of geothermal heat pump producers because we don't have companies dealing with the manufacturing of geothermal heat pumps. After the description of the cluster, I think it's useful to shortly describe the geothermal energy in Tuscany. Tuscany can be considered the world cradle of geothermal energy because geothermal energy, because here in Larderello, at the beginning of the last century, the world's first power plant became operative. And now we have 34 power plants installed in Tuscany. They are all managed by Enel Green Power with a total capacity of nearly 1 gigawatt of electricity. And the geothermal power plants in Tuscany can cover more than 30% of the regional electricity demand. We have also many geothermal district heatings that are connected to the geothermal power plants and the geothermal wells for drilled for the power generation. And we have also several examples of other direct uses for productive processes, so dairies, breweries, greenhouses, and other uses. Concerning the geothermal power generation, the last plant was installed in Montamiata area. So in the southern part of Tuscany, and it's an energy green power plant with 40 megawatt installed, and it uses the flash technology. Another plant which is under approval is a plant of Sorgenia Geothermal, and it's a binary plant. It will be a binary plant. This is the most advanced project for concerning the new geothermal power plants. Concerning direct uses, we have, as I was saying before, greenhouses, breweries, dairies. Some years ago, we experimented, we tested the technical facility feasibility for the microalgae cultivation using geothermal brines after the power production. Using geothermal heat after the power production, so low temperature geothermal fluids from the power plant, and the geothermal CO2, so the carbon dioxide coming from the geothermal fluids, because here in Tuscany geothermal fluids, CO2 is the main non-condensable gas available in the fluids. And then we have also geothermal district heatings. About Co.Svi.G. Co.Svi.G is the consortium for the development of geothermal areas. We born more than 30 years ago, with the aim of promoting the local socio-economical development and to cooperate with local authorities. Our shareholders are all public authorities, including 14 municipalities, provinces, 4 consortium of municipalities, and the Tuscany region. After 30 years, Co.Svi.G has an important role as an operational arm for its shareholders, and we are involved in coordinating and enhancing efforts to promote a local development model grounded on the sustainable development and on economical vocations of our territories. The territories are the territories where we operate are mainly the Tuscan geothermal areas, so the municipalities that are involved in the territories that are involved for the power generation from geothermal energy. Co.Svi.G with its shareholders set up a roadmap for the sustainability. So we aim to diversify the production, productive processes, and the use of renewable energy sources, mainly geothermal energy, but not only geothermal energy. and we operate to combine social, cultural, and environmental characteristics of our areas and the technological innovation. So we operate for our territories, we operate as a local development agency, and at regional and international level, we operate to promote the technological innovation and the technological the technology transfer in the geothermal sector. Our main activities are the promotion of renewables, as I was saying before, the promotion of investments. We are the promotion of investments in our territories. We are the founding member of the Tuscan Renewable Energy Food Community, which groups companies involved in the agri-food sector that use raw materials coming from the Tuscany region, and at least 50%, and that they cover at least the 50% of their energy demand with renewables. Then we are active. We have an active role in communication. We manage a newsletter on geothermal and renewables related issues. We manage structures for the applied research and for the technology transfer on renewables and energy efficiency. In this framework, we manage two laboratories. The first one is in CESTA Lab, which deals with which test combustors for gas turbines, and we also manage a laboratory on geothermal energy to support facilities and investments in the geothermal sector. And then we are the managing body of the technology cluster. The CE.G Lab, the laboratory of the Center of Excellence of Geothermal Energy of Larderello, is one of the two infrastructures that I was mentioning before. We work mainly to characterize geothermal fluids and geothermal resources in general. We work both to support direct uses of geothermal heat and to attract investments in our territories, and we work also in the shallow geothermal sector, and we carry out feasibility studies to install geothermal heat pumps. Thank you for your attention. I finished the presentation, and I give the floor to Ferenc for its presentation on CAPES.
Hi, everybody. First, I would like to thank you that you are here, and sorry, I have only a. Thank you. I have only one slide of our cluster, and later I will come back to the geochem in the other section. So, thank you very much. Why we are here? We are the cluster of applied earth sciences in Hungary, and we have 33 members. From this, 22 are SMEs. We have institutes, universities, and public bodies and non-profit LTD also members. We are a hub of experts.
Don't see your slide.
Oh,
You must share your.
I have to share it. Oh, please share. So sorry. So do you see the this slide? Please, anybody answer me.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you. So we are a hub of experts, universities, SMEs who are good at applied earth sciences. We have different capabilities, different expert activity in this field. And I think our main activity or our main role in an international project is to give a service for bigger cluster, bigger companies. So this is the reason why we are here. Personally, Logframe and Geochem represent the cluster of applied earth sciences here in Larderello. And I wouldn't like to say too much from our activity because you will introduce yourself. And what is the most important? That Co.Svi.G is one of the most experienced cluster in the Geoenergy Europe meta cluster, and they have international projects. They have experience internationally, and a couple of years ago I said that we have to open the international projects, not only to the western part of Europe, but eastern part. We have some experiences, but I think we need some complement service, needs some complement practice when we open to Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia, and also to Africa, South America, or Asia. So only a couple of words of the members, mainly SME members. Augen has a service activity in mineralogy and rock petrography. Aurora Energy Ltd has experience in managing international oil and gas exploration and production projects. Chamber of Trade and Commerce has experience in project management and international projects. And also they are responsible for European Enterprise Network projects in Hungary. Datalight has experience in remote sensing and interpretation of air and space photos. EcoCortex has experience in international project management and strategical planning. Geochem, you know, we have a petrophysical laboratory and petrophysical experience. GeoEco has experience in field geology and reconnaissance mapping. And Galgold Carpathia has experience in geotechnical and geophysical measurements, field measurements. Geomega also has a big experience in 3D seismical surveys and geotechnical analysis. Sorry, it's not. Yes, Goward, sorry, you are here. So Goward, his experience is shallow geothermal. Co.Svi.G is a relatively new company with some experience in drilling of shallow boreholes. Galvat has experience in designing heat exchangers, heat pumps. Innotech has experience in data management, big data. Karotaj is a company for anomalous domain well logging activity, mainly connecting to the hydrogeological projects. Blockframe has a big experience in project management, and György Márton, the owner and manager of this company, is here personally. MS Mining has experience in oil industry, connecting some engineering activity, and they opened now the geothermal use of old oil wells. So this is a technological company. MPix makes some marketing materials for us, like films. Rockstudy has a big experience in field and laboratory rock mechanical measurements. Tomogeo is a specialist of CT measurements. Dr. Ödön Király is our international manager, and he has big experience in India, Canada, and the USA market. And last but not least, from our SMEs, András has experience in radiology, and he works in Pécs University now. Also, we have university partners like Budapest University of Technology and Economics, who are good at civil engineering. Eötvös Loránd University Department of Geology, who are good at part of geomathematics and also the geology, the general geology, mineralogy, and petrology, sedimentology. Institute for Geological and Geochemical Research Center for Astronomy and Earth Sciences has a very good laboratory for isotope analysis, and also they are experts of some scientific work connecting to the geochemistry. University of Miskolc Institute of Mineralogy and Geology has also practice in mineralogical analysis, and this was my alma mater. University of Miskolc Research Institute of Applied Earth Sciences has some experience in petrophysics and also hydrate investigation. So they have many work for oil industry, MOL, Hungarian Oil Company. University of Pécs Faculty of Engineering and Information Technology has experience in environmental research. Szeged University has has some expert activity in geology, mineralogy, and they have a very good laboratory for this work. University of Pannonian Research Center for biomechanical, environmental, chemical engineering has experience in the field of chemistry and environmental chemistry also. Social organization for ecological cleanliness has experience in radiological monitoring, and Vasarely Secondary Technical School could give us some young scientists later. So we are the member of Geoenergy Europe Metacluster. We are a founder member of Geoenergy Europe Metacluster. And also we have a bronze level of cluster management excellence. This is a very short introduction of our companies, but who are here, they will introduce the company, and we can try to find some fields where we can work with each together, Co.Svi.G and Co.Svi.G members. And I hope you have ideas, you have open mind, and we can discuss practical and excellent collaboration activities with Co.Svi.G. Thank you very much. And what is the next point of this?
Yes, now.
Meeting?
Yes, now we have the presentations of the Italian companies. Alice is online. She can make her presentation.
Okay.
And introduce the
Hydrogeo.
Hydrogeo company.
So now or after Matteo?
No, now.
Okay.
Matteo has to download and
Okay.
the presentation.
So just a minute in order to share my screen.
Thank you. Good morning to everybody. I am Alice Sciulli and I represent this morning Hydrogeo company. Maybe some of you have already met my supervisor, Alessandro Murrazzo, during in occasion of the PDEC conference in Toronto some weeks ago. Anyway, just a few words about our company. Hydrogeo offers geological services regarding different topics. The company has started these activities in 2001 and offering geological consulting of different geological topics from environmental engineering, hydrogeology, geological and geotechnical aspect, and with focus on this presentation about renewable activities. This is our group. We have two founding members that are Alessandro Murrazzo and Simone Fiaschi, a coordinator, Laila Taddei, and other senior geologists involved in different topics about the geological aspect. This is our main services, from geochemistry to city planning, hydrogeological, and so on. We have a lot of different topics. This is our main references and collaboration and partners during the last years. But with topics on the main renewable and mining activities, we have started to work in the last maybe 10 years. respect to the main renewable activities, we are talking about geothermal, solar, and wind projects. We offer especially exploration geothermal permits licenses for electricity production with zero emission power plants and district heating projects. Environmental impact assessment study for drilling geothermal wells in the sector of oil and gas wells, solar, wind, and geothermal power plants, and the realization and about the realization of electric lines. Feasibility studies for thermal water resources, recognition of the geothermal and thermal waters. We have participated with some European projects thanks to Co.Svi.G, like GeoEnvy, Fault Lab, GeoEnergy projects. And we are involved in low enthalpy geothermal projects for building air conditioning. So different aspect, especially regarding geothermal project. We offer our consulting, especially for the subsoil aspect and all the geological activities. We can support our client in the field and in some step of environmental authorizations in the field and in some aspect of the engineering project and so on. So just few words, maybe I have choose some example about our experience in order to show to all of you our main competencies. This is a work we have done for Sardinia in the geothermal field. We can do direction of water for this was a reflection seismic investigation in the Tuscany area in regarding some geothermal research permits, Caled Montorio, Le Cascinelle, Poggio Montone, La Grasceta, all in Tuscany and the Lazio region. This is another example of our project. We worked for Edison in order to realize a feasibility study and a 3D geological model and preliminary geothermal model to support the project for the construction of a city district heating plants in the city of Florence. This is another project we worked together with this partner, Geothermal, a French partner, about the possibility to the realization of some district heating plant in some town here in Tuscany with the support of a very strong engineering group in Italy, the Studio Associato di Ingegneria with the engineer Piemonte. And this is another one project about, in this case, the realization of a solar plant close to Piombino, Livorno. We worked for the SPV Energy. And in that case, we can support about all the geological, geomorphological, and hydrogeological reports supporting the environmental impact assessment studies, okay, for obtaining the authorization and the procedures for going on with the project. This was another experience in Sardinia for the storage of CO2 into the subsoil. It was a research project. We worked with this group of engineering well links located in Pescara, and the client was Sosacarbo. And in the field of the oil and gas for Aleanna in 2015, we worked on environmental impact assessment procedure for drilling the well for hydrocarbons, Harmonia Uno in this case in Ferrara. This is another example of environmental impact assessment for the realization of geothermal power plant of Coaltra. Our client was Magma Energy Italia in Tuscany. Even in this case, we can cover all the environmental aspects, like acoustic report, electromagnetic impact, vibrational impact, socioeconomic relationship, and ecological interference and landscape. So we cover all the aspects. This is a similar project, but for the Lucca city, in order to realize a district heating and the possibility to for the city and for a private client. And this is okay. I'm going shortly because I have chosen, this is the last project I have chosen in order to show you some of our competencies. And this was for Terna, for the production of environmental documents for authorization and installation of an energy power plant on the Elba Island in Tuscany. And this is a short preview. I don't know. I go short. I go fast, but in order to show you some aspect about our project. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Alice. And
sorry, I have to. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Alice. And now I give the floor to Matteo Quaia from STEAM, who is here in Larderello presenting. Okay. Matteo, the floor is here.
Thank you, Dario. Thank you for the Hungarian visitors to make this long trip to visit us. And this is the typical Tuscan geothermal countryside, which you also had the chance to see. It's a nice picture we want to generally show because it represents also the long way to achieve a geothermal power plant installation. Now, maybe somewhere in the very far there is a power plant, and it represents a roadmap to achieve this. We are STEAM is a company which was established in 1987 as an engineering company to operate in the energy and environmental sector, with specific reference to geothermal energy development. So we have a pool of experts which have more than 35 years of experience then in the sector. And we have been providing consulting, operational training services to a lot of big variety of organizations, starting from international organizations like World Bank, ABRD, and Italian ministries. Then to geothermal investors like Enels, and in Africa, particularly to Kengen, other consulting firm, other service supplier, and technology provider as well, with two of these, Co.Svi.G, Oxygen Turbulent, with the last two being Italian companies. So the particular feature of our company is that under a single umbrella, you can have an assistance in the development of the full geothermal project, starting from the resource assessment to the drilling phases, then feasibility studies, engineering, and construction supervision, and as well as after in the O&M and capacity building as well. This because we have both geologists and engineers. So Paolo, who is here with me, is a geologist, and myself, for example, I'm an engineer. And I think I will be brief. I think I will show you some references in the sector, latest one. So we have been very much active in East Africa recently, where there have been a lot of development. if you consider geothermal has been particularly expanding in the last 10 years in Turkey, where binary have been applied and we have been involved, but also particularly in Indonesia and in Kenya. So in Kenya, we have been involved as owner engineer for the rehabilitation of the oldest geothermal power plant, which is Flash plant, 45 megawatt. The other one is Olkaria 5, again, owner engineering for 160 megawatt power plant for Kengen. And most recently, still in East Africa, research assessment. This is the very early phase of exploration of a geothermal prospect in Mozambique, 2 areas that in Metangula. And yes, so this is another activities which our geologist has been following recently. We as well assisted Dominican authorities in reassessing, or let's say reviewing the master plan of development for the project development of a geothermal plant in such a remote location, which is a Dominican island in the Caribbean. And then we have been involved in, I would say, almost all the geothermal projects which are being developed other than Enel by private IPP. Like this one in Montenegro for Gesto, and this is another reference for Turkey. This is a due diligence prospect, and this is the design of a gathering system for an 18 megawatt binary plant in Turkey. This is again another gathering for Pico Alto 4 megawatt in Azores Island, and some other activities. This one is in Iran, and I guess that's it. I would like to mention as well that we have been involved in some with companies who were developing basically I think the only power plant which is now active in Hungary, which is Turawel, and we know very well the developer, which is Kaishan, so who is now installing 35 megawatt in Kenya, and we are the owner engineer of that project. And we would like, in fact, to learn more about Hungary because the potential is there, and we think that it's a good prospect. We also have been supporting the shale or something like that for a prospect near Gadoros, sorry. Gadoros, yes. Then we are aware of the development in Gadoros, and yeah, so it's a good prospect in our opinion, Hungary, and we are happy that we have the chance to learn more.
Thank you, Matteo. I think we have concluded with the Italian companies, and now I give the floor to Ferenc that will make a presentation of Geochem. Please. You can.
Thank you very much, Dario. So first, I would like to introduce another partner company, another cluster member who I forget, sorry, Unix Win, whose representative Mate Kova is here, and will introduce that company. They has a development for underground mapping of flooded areas by a robot. So sorry, Mate. And no, I think I only show a short introduction, a short film of Geochem, which could be good, could be new for our member also. And after, in the later session, I will introduce Geochem a little bit more detailed for Italian partners, because I think the Hungarian partners know very well who we are. So let's start this film.
At our cluster, we stand by Geochem. We take great pride in announcing that our founding member Geochem's team has recently become a leading example for others. It took only 18 years for them to be acknowledged in the international sphere, since taking significant roles in over 100 projects, generating over 15 million euros as an SME geology lab, which was founded for the geological storage of radioactive waste, petroleum and raw material exploration, geothermal and water research, H2 and CO2 sequestration. It has one of the greatest levels of experience, owing to many thousands of physical rock measurements taken on an annual basis. We have participated in international challenges along with our partners from such great countries as Australia, Ireland, the UK, France, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Switzerland, South Korea, Germany. So they all stand by Geochem's team, which has had a constant presence in over 30 countries, resulting in a focus on international perspectives, maintaining excellent partnerships with prestigious universities, state-run institutions and companies, attracting the most qualified staff in Central Europe, offering the advantages of dual education and internship opportunities for students from all over the world. As a private petrophysical lab, they are the only one in the region with the right experience that can come up with the ever newer approaches to geological problem solving, thus creating brand new innovations almost every year. Whether it be new software or never before seen highly precise instruments, such as the Smart Reservoir Laboratory SRL A1000. Geochem. Precisely.
Készült Magyarország kormányának megbízásából az Európai Unió támogatásával.
Why we are here as Geochem? Because 2 weeks later we will go to Kenya with also with STREAM, and we try to find cooperation possibilities in laboratory work and field work in Kenya, maybe in South America. We will see. So this is the reason why we would like to introduce ourselves, and you, the Hungarian partners, can connect this mission, I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ferenc. Now I give the floor to Logframe for a presentation.
Yes, I don't have.
Yes, but you can.
Thank you very much, Dario. Just some short summary of our company. First of all, I would like to thank for your invitation in Larderello. And as Ferenc mentioned, we represent here our CAPES, our cluster. Ferenc from Geochem and myself, Ferenc and Mate from Geochem, and myself from Logframe. Logframe is providing services to the cluster companies and to many other players in our region in terms of acquiring EU funding. We are working for this field for more than 20 years, even before I started our activity at that time with my colleagues in the Regional Development Agency, even before we started it before the EU accession of Hungary, accession of Hungary to Europe before 2004, and from 2007 we founded our company called Logframe. So now we have 15 years of experience also in the private sphere in terms of business consultancy in project generation and project management. We have a company of 9 people. All have graduated. Most of them are economists, but also we have experience in other fields and speaking multi languages. For colleagues, our main focus of activity is firstly on focusing on mainstream EU funds. I mean the operational program, which can be available also in your country, in Italy, also in Hungary through the operational programs. We work with the municipalities and also with companies. And the other main field of our activity belongs to the international projects. Mainly, up to this moment, we were and we are having experience and working with Interreg funds, partly with the cross-border cooperations, like with Croatia. We are also working in the programming of the field on the assignment of the both line ministries of Hungary and Croatia, and also in project generation and management. And also we try to, as Ferenc has also alluded to, we try to step into international fields with the submission of some Central Europe projects, and also to Danube and to other fields. What we are really seeking for is possibilities of stepping into the field of Horizon 2020 and these kind of project initiatives. And what we can provide to these projects is the support also in the generation and management of projects, especially in terms of our Hungarian partners, but also at international level. Last but not least, why we are also the member of CAPES, of the cluster, is that we have a very good working relationship with both Geochem and the other companies around Pécs in southwestern part of Hungary, where we are coming from, and the whole CAPES, most of the CAPES cluster companies are operating in that area of Hungary. And we have both for municipalities and also for companies project consultancies in terms of energy-related projects, which has ties with research and development of geothermal field, and also development of energy efficiency and renewable energy project, both for municipalities and for companies. We have really several experience in generation management of this type of projects. So that's why we found ourselves as maybe a complementary and useful value-added partner in this cluster. So all in all, we are here to find ways also with Co.Svi.G and of course with you in as members in finding the way of how to generate new project where our dreams also can come through in terms of monetary background. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Georgi. And we go to Georg for his presentation.
Yes, hello. That's me.
Hello, Amakos.
Just one moment, please.
Or is yours?
Yes, you can see me now, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I am sharing a short presentation as well.
Okay.
Just one moment. Okay, I think now we're good, right? Can you hear me and can you see the presentation?
We could see. Okay, now we can see. Okay.
Okay. So I'm glad to be here. I'm a geologist of a company called Geothermal Engineering, or Geothermal Response Test. That's what it stands for, Geothermal. I'm the geologist of the company, and I was glad to hear about deep geothermal like Larderello. Here, I studied deep geothermal in Iceland back in 2016. So that was a little bit close to me. But recently, I work for Geothermal, who is specialized in shallow geothermal in Hungary and in the surrounding countries as well. Most of our works are in Hungary. We are part of a group, a company group. It's called the Concept Group. That's our building, office building, what you can see here. There are several companies belong to this group, but I'm not going to talk about most of them. Only GeoConcept and Geothermal Engineering, because we are the ones who deal with the shallow geothermal the most. So yes, that's our office building. It's recently built like 2 years ago, and obviously it is heated and cooled by geothermal energy. The whole concept group is a kind of large group now. It's been developing in the recent years. As you can see, we have a lot of engineers, technicians, and a lot of people. One geologist, that's me over here. Okay, this is Geort. What we do actually, we prepare most of the geothermal projects. That means that we, to support the designer contractors, we basically help in the designing of the geothermal heating and cooling systems. We do engineering consulting, we do calculations of returns and custom creations as well. We do the engineers do BIM design of the heat pump systems, and one of our main jobs basically is the probe test. That's the TRT, or thermal response test, or geothermal response test. That's where our company name is coming from, and that's what I do actually as a geologist at the company. And obviously after the TRTs, we also do the design of the probe field with a simulation. And yes, one thing that we also do is in Hungary, at least, we do we consult with the, so we do the approval of the drillings and the probes, and we also manufacture geothermal backfilling material. That's what we use as a backfilling material at the probes. Probably in Italy as well, but it's necessary to use this backfilling materials. I know that in Scandinavia they don't use it at all. They just leave the borehole open. We cannot do it here. And the other company is GeoConcept. This is actually a larger group because this is the company who basically not just design but also install the whole system. So Geort is the designer of the systems. Sometimes we do only TRTs. That's what I do for the foreign countries as well. Sometimes we design. And GeoConcept is the company who install these systems. Yes, from the drilling until the heat, they do a lot of things. And obviously, because we are one group, we work together really closely. We have a lot of references now. We've been active for more than 10 years in Hungary, and we design and install geothermal systems, heating and cooling systems for smaller and larger buildings. One of the largest is the campus building of Mall. That's an office building, but we also do residential buildings and industrial buildings as well, like factories. Recently, a lot of factory is coming to us and ask for geothermal heating and cooling. Yes, I think these are not that important. So that was us, Geort, who is part of the concept group. And the Geort company is the one who actually do some work outside of the country as well. That's usually me. That's why I am here. Okay, I think that was it. That was us. Thank you.
Thank you, Domokos, for the interesting presentation. And then I don't know if Christina is back. No, I don't see her. Okay. So I think I called for a presentation Geomega. If they are here.
Yes, sorry, I was not prepared for a presentation, so at this time, so I'm just.
Okay, you can, if you want, you can.
Okay, just give a few words about who we are. Sorry, I switch on my camera.
Okay, thank you. We cannot see you.
I don't know why I switched on the camera, but well, anyway, okay, maybe I have bandwidth problems. Okay, I switched off the camera. Sorry. So Geomega is a geological geophysical consultancy company. We have two main activities. One is shallow engineering geophysical measurements for all kind of engineering problems like road construction, building and construction, similar stuff, so subsoil investigations. And the other main activity is deep subsurface geological exploration. This includes oil and gas exploration and also geothermal exploration. So mainly the so-called upstream part, so the exploration part of that. We have capabilities of shooting 2D seismic sections and also advanced processing capabilities both for 2D and 3D seismic sections. We do our the interpretations in-house, so most of the employees are geologists and geophysicists. So not the engineering part of this topic, but mainly the geo part of the topic. So we have managed to okay, so I see that I opened up the website. So we have managed several oil and gas projects from start to the very end, including licensing, permitting, measurements, interpretation of the measurements, and also permitting of the production. This was the main activity for the last 15-20 years. And nowadays, as the oil industry is a little bit down, the main activity turned back into the shallow engineering geophysical measurements. As I mentioned, road construction measurements. For example, we were involved in the metro building of geological investigations of the new metro line, and also several geothermal exploration projects in the last few years. We were involved. One is which together with also partner companies in Capes in the geothermal exploration of the Page region, and several other projects. So if you would like, you can, I invite you to go to our website. It also have English and Hungarian version. You can see the main activities, the geophysical instruments we have, and the main references. You can find it there. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Geza. And if you can send us the link to your website, we can add the website to the proceedings of today, of this morning, and we will send it in the folder with all other presentations.
Okay, shall I send it? Shall I just send it in the conversation in the here, or just?
Yes,
what is the best
session, or you can send us an email as you prefer.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Okay. See the presentation?
Yes, I see. Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, floor is yours.
Okay, the second one, please. Okay, so Rocksteady Ltd is specialized in performing laboratory and in situ measurements, design work, and providing technical expertise related to geotechnics and rock mechanics. It's a 14-year-old company. It was established in 2008, and Rocksteady Ltd is committed to using sustainable and environmentally friendly technologies and solutions, and we do that in the highest attainable quality level. The next, please. Our company operates in the southern part of Hungary. Our headquarters is here, and we have a fully equipped rock mechanical laboratory near the city. We also have a special R&D site in Budapest. The next, please. We have been involved in many important projects since the company was founded. We conduct rock mechanical and geotechnical investigations of National Radioactive Waste Repository in Hungary. We also take part of the characterization project preparing the final disposal of Hungarian high-level radioactive waste and spent fuels. We participate in geological research project for the new Hungarian nuclear power plant. One of our main ongoing projects is a geothermal R&D project. We are a member of a consortium, and this project is about developing the sustainable reinjection technology of used hot water. We carry out rock mechanical investigations of the UCG research project in the Eastern Mechek Mountains. We also make slope stability analysis at various locations based on our own geological and geotechnical surveys and GIS methods. And we participate in the characterization program of the site underground Einstein telescope in Hungary. The next, please. We have a wide range of service portfolio from data collection through planning to data control, but because of lack of time, I wouldn't go into details, so I just mentioned them as listed here. Our services are geotechnical assessment, also laboratory services, GIS database building, GIS processing and developing, consulting and engineering, and developing GIS-based expert systems. The next slide, please. We think that the key element of the sustainability is to intensify the utilization of the upper part of the Earth's crust. That's why our mission is to facilitate that at the most updated technical and scientific level, meeting the client's requirements at the same time. And we believe, next slide please, that this goal can be achieved through strong cooperation with other companies. That's why we are here. And if you like to contact us or you are interested in our company, you can find our email addresses at the last slide of the presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Christina, for the interesting presentation. I call Unexmin for its presentation.
Hello.
Hello, Mate.
Hi, I just try to share my okay. And can you see my presentation?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, just okay. So our company is Unexmin Georobotics Ltd, and we developed the underwater explorer for flooded environments. And basically, what we do, it's evolved from a Horizon Age 2020 project, and now we are a startup supported by EIT Raw Materials, and we are looking for opportunities to work with many companies who are interested in geological surveys in underwater conditions. We have 5 robots now. The newest one is the UX1 Neo that you could see on the first slide. And we had many dives all over Europe, even in flooded mines and caves. Even once we dive in a water well, but I will introduce the dive sites. And what we offer is a complete 3D mapping of those flooded environments. For those, we have RGB cameras and the laser system, so we can provide a 3D model from a point cloud with the photogrammetry models also. And we have, of course, geological instruments, so we can measure water parameters such as conductivity, pH, and of course temperature. And we also have water sampling units, so we can take water samples from different parts of these environments. And we also have a hyperspectral unit, which is capable to identify mineralization underwater. So the very first dive of the robot, it was the beginning of the project UNEXMIN. It was in Finland. So you can see the first generation robot here, and then the point cloud that the robot made in the Katjala mine in Finland. Since then, we had a lot of improvement on the robot. And of course, yeah, I just quickly introduce these missions from UNEXMIN. So this is still the first generation robot, because in the first generation we had 3 robots with 3 different payload according to instrumentation. So you can see that in these bad conditions, we were still able to so we couldn't really use the cameras in this water because it was very bad visibility, but with the laser system it was possible to navigate and to make a model. Also, you're in a abandoned uranium mine in Portugal with this project, and in this mine actually the water was very clear. We could make very fine footage. And this is, you can see, still that mine, but the new robot. You can see this completely different structure of the robot, and actually you can see our control room. So we can see live the cameras and the point cloud data in the same time from the robot. And the deepest mission was around 360 meters. So the robot is capable to withstand pressures of 60 bar. So with a safety margin, we usually dive down to 500 meters, but with some modifications, we will be able to dive down to 1.5 kilometers even. And of course, for validating that kind of environment, we are also looking for any place that we can test our equipment in such a deep condition. So you can see the RGB cameras, and also we made some work after the dives, some post-processing techniques. We were able to filter these dust and filter out the sediments floating in the water. And in the right side, you can see the 3D map provided by the robot, or actually the part of the 3D map. And also here you can see a photogrammetry model. This is from the Urgerica uranium mine from Portugal. And this is the 2K resolution model. And also we provide these data georeferred. So we have a georeference table for calibration, and we have minimal error for these models after calibration. Also, we were in an abandoned mine in United Kingdom. This is it is 18th century mine, so it was a very old mine, and we also had successful missions here. So this is also a better visibility in this mine, and we could make very nice photogrammetry models here. So you can see also some pictures from the new robot. And this is actually what we were made in the Acton mine. So we used the UV scan to identify some mineralization, and also some, you can see on the right, some stitched images from a shaft. And also here is the 3D photogrammetry model of the one of the shafts from Acton, and also point cloud. And you can see in our user interface. Actually, we have 6 cameras, so we have cameras all around the robot, so we can discover every part of these mines. And this is a very interesting mission because we had to clean the robot. So it was an active water well in Hungary. So during our dive, the water of the well was used by some towns in Hungary. So we had to sanitize completely our robot to measure that. Here we had to go down to the bottom of the water well. It was like 66 meters, and we were checking the pumping station or the pumps, the state of the pumps here, because they had some maintenance work and they were changing some pumps. So before that, we checked the state of the old equipment down there. And also we dived in a natural cave system in Hungary. We also have very, very nice footage from here, from with the robot. And so you can see we have the map, the outside environment, and also the cave system, completely georeferred 3D models of the cave, parts of the caves. And this was just last year, so we went to Ukraine, abandoned the salt mine. So we have some dives in very salty conditions. Actually, you could see salt crystals even. So the water here was completely saturated, and we dived here with the robot in these conditions. Also, you can see this is the raw image from the point cloud, and we can make the photogrammetry based on these sensor data. Here we were supposed to go down as much as we could to see what are the conditions down there, and it could be that this was one of the deepest dives that we had. It was 450 meter depth. And so what we can do is actually cave exploration. We can provide risk evaluation services, environmental monitoring, and we can create geological models. Also, we can provide some custom measurements if it's needed. So we can also develop some specific sensor systems for geological surveys. And of course, when we go to somewhere around Europe or outside Europe, we are stating our safety protocols, so it complies with the current national restrictions. And thank you very much for your attention. And if any questions, I can answer them.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So last but not least, Unexmin 2 weeks ago, Unexmin participated in PDEC in Canada, Toronto, and as I heard, it was a very successful exhibition. Congratulations for this.
Thank you very much.
And I'm waiting for the report on this exhibition and new connections. And I'm sure that after this session, after this presentations, we can show we call it really high-tech innovative work. So I'm sure we can find the points where we can collaborate with each other. Thank you very much. And this is the time when you can ask from us something and also vice versa. So we can discuss how we can collaborate with each other. If you have questions or you need some answers, please don't hesitate to ask us. And also, I would like to ask Italian colleagues that if you have any ideas, project ideas, or any field where you think that we can collaborate, don't hesitate to give information about, to discuss this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ferenc. Yes, indeed. Now, thank you for your presentations and for your availability for today. And now I open a question and answer session on interactive sessions with people connected remotely and people here in Larderello. Yes, so if you have some question to start the discussion, you are welcome to make your questions. If you want. Come volete.
The geothermal are obviously two main applications. One is electricity and the other is thermal. Or the direct uses. So we understand between the countries in Eastern Europe, Hungary has the highest potential. Something in Serbia, something in Romania neighboring to Hungary. Slovenia went neighboring with Hungary, but
not only there, but also in Bulgaria. So
yeah, also Bulgaria. So the question are basically concentration. We were involved in the commissioning of the 17 megawatt plant in and finally, what is the situation of the tariff for the electricity? We're a bit confused on what is the demand. And at the same time, I understand that the district heating is becoming more and more popular. So I was in contact in my previous experience with Panergy, was back in 10 years ago, 2012, was thinking to miso slab. Was either thinking to produce electricity or thermal or do a district heating system, but in the end they did the district heating system. So if you can a bit inform what the situation, what is the regulation for the feed-in tariff in the electricity production, and yeah, like this. Then I understand, of course, it's even a larger local components than so.
Wait a minute. I will call my colleague who is familiar in this discussion. And also, if we cannot answer questions, we will send detailed information.
Thanks.
Okay.
Gases and even up to 160, 180 degrees.
So problem is that in Hungary, I think we ruled at exploration activity.
Yeah.
but not a real good how we can use effectively this geothermal resources. So nowadays, for example, you will come and tell something. We have some smaller municipalities which can implement some mainly distant heating. This temperature is not enough for not really enough for energy production, and Hungarian government support mainly the distant heating activity. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, they try to design an EGS system, but it's fair to know. Also, the Hungarian oil company has similar activity. If you have any more information, please don't hesitate to say it, because I have relatively more information on this. So no, not really working with this. No, it's very expensive, and only in the experimental phase. So I think it's a very good idea to how we can make a pilot for this in Hungary, because I think the future would be EGS. Because if you compare the solar system or wind system, Hungary with half, so a small city size photovoltaic power plant need for give enough energy for a small city. That's too big. The best way the geothermal energy. There is sorry. Okay. Okay. So in second.
So it's near to the border with the
yeah. So there is a very good district heating system with more than 38 greenhouse, half of injection well, another half of production well. And also another there is a project for smaller municipalities, which is the project of Logfön and Javat. So, and last but not least, there are some financial projects for this heating also. Yes, one in Mali, Scots, one in Europe, I think, and in Russia. So, question was give some information on the electricity prices and regulation and connecting to the geothermal.
Yes. So professionally, the main thing is that for the heat, it refers actually to the house installed, and can for covering the electricity need. The heat pump, you can have special price, but it requires to have special needs, separate metering, and many times it's made sometimes better covering the photovoltaics electricity instead of requiring for a special price for covering for the electricity need of the heat pump. What I would like to add, if it's possible, that Ferenc mentioned, sorry for my phone call, but it was related to this thing, that Ferenc mentioned this Ledepark project, which could be maybe interesting, although you have excessive heat everywhere on the ground level, sorry. But we try to, apart from ground water heat pumps, we try to, and geothermal, we try to have more, and we try to use the waste heat of many of the thermal wells, or also the waste heat of those kind of economic players who can produce a lot of water, even maybe at lower temperature, like breweries or water plants and this kind of stuff. And we have this project in other hand when they have only one well for the staff, and we use this special heat pump technology, Geowatt, the waste heat at very high SEOP. I mentioned yesterday that we can reach up to more than 6 or even sometimes 7 to 8 SEOP with this technology, because this heat pump, the specialized heat pump vapor line for this waste and water usage, evaporation side and wastewater, and then the compression side or the heat side water, can use the water, the wastewater, to up to 40, 41 degrees Celsius without heat exchanger, so directly, and can push up to more than 80 degrees Celsius for heating. And the company was really specially we developed this technology for this kind of purposes. So it can be maybe useful. That's why we use it for this one well bore with the help of EU funds. That's why our Latvian company came in. We were able to connect 7 municipality buildings only to this weight of this one well bore, and we can cover, hopefully, with this. But in this case, it can have positive effects. It's climate change. There are not so much cold times in the winter, although we live in the gas boilers, but only for, as a building system, only for some hours, but can cover nearly 195% of the total heat. And install the heat pumps in the buildings, and connected to this wastewater, which goes out from the spa. We deployed 250 cubic meter buffer. Let's say one part of it contains the thermal water, the wastewater, and the heat exchangers connected to the other part, which is of course the clean water that's circulated in the through the buildings. And then the buildings are this water special heat pump connected to the heat system of the different buildings, and on the top of the buildings there are solar panels. That's referring to back. Also, in this case, was better to cover the electricity need of these heat pumps with solar panels. And in the end, of course, meaning that there is no increase in the electricity need, but we can cover the whole of the need at these prices from this year. Really interesting. So as a combination to drilling well bores and to have geothermal systems, maybe that could be also our interesting. Thank you.
And which competencies do you need? Which we haven't got. Which competencies?
It's interesting to have, for example, there is a need for at least on one hand, it would be interesting to see, of course, always there's a need there to look for development. Also in the heat pump technology, it would be quite interesting to see if other heat pump developers can have similar kind of technologies and what kind of other technologies can they build in to further increase maybe either temperature rates, whether it's now quite excessive, and also the COP, and especially the SCOP is not seasonal officer. And on the other hand, maybe it would be interesting to see the control and how can I say, control system, because the control system is needed also on the primary side and connected to the secondary side in the buildings, and it's fully automatically should be controlled. Maybe also in this case there could be a room for collaboration. And yeah, lastly, it would be interesting to see. I don't have experience in that. Whether we can do it if and you are really, I'm not, you are a professional in knowing this geothermal power plants for electricity production. Can it be possible to connect this system with the electricity production? I mean, for waste heat after it comes out.
We speak it up for Germany. Germany, Bavaria, for the Rheinland, with the particular. So, there are obviously some aspects we consider on the new positions, so on. But
and in that case, like here in the area of Larderello, they use it for district heating.
yes, yes, there was quite a big difference because if you would be more similar to Germany, you will have a resource not so hot and lithium. In Germany, they have, say, between 100 to 140. Then they are part of the development for high temperature, but this is like the kind of issue they have. And the weather will be similar to it. And in here we have, but more than double. And so it can be either the fluid you extract, unfortunately, delivered to the power plant, which is electricity, and another portion directly to the houses, or can be first given to the power plant after the utilization to the houses, or it can be given to the power plant, and instead of the power plant, it will include very much. If there are no power plant, then you condense, you take out the heat from the power plant. So there are different combinations, and depends on probably the real driver would be what is more economical. Because, because in reality, the thermal, even people thermal and might be even more economically advantage than producing electricity, at least that of them. So I mentioned before about energy. Again, number I saw on the internet are correct. It's for the reason to actually to district heating rather than
because of the support of the land
and
the government. So
in here, I guess these are totally it's like option first, but the thermal heating with the steam is very late. So here is a very, very rare situation. But it's more similar maybe to Denmark.
Yes, here the district heating are heated with geothermal steam, but they don't use as I was saying to you before yesterday, they don't use they don't use geothermal steam suitable for the power production, but the geothermal steam that is not suitable for the power production because, for example, it has too much gas, non-condensable gases content, or for any other motivation, they take the steam from wells that are not suitable for the power production. Then, during the peak load demand during the winter, they use also the steam for the power production, but the company managing district heating or also the municipalities, when the district heating are managed directly by municipalities, have to pay much more the steam used suitable for the power production.
I have a question for you. So when you when you begin exploration of your which expert and the service and laboratory activity do you need in this time, and which you cannot cover? So when you ask a quotation for companies on site or abroad.
Yes, these are good questions. By the way, I would also like to ask, similar to Croatia, I guess also in Hungary, there are a lot of oil and gas well or investigations, which are yes, which would be because the main problem for geothermal is always mineral risk, so trying to find something.
Yeah.
And I think Hungary would be in a similar situation with Croatia. So a lot of people have investigated and a lot of already know. There might be even what happens in this area is that they build, and if they don't use, they cement, fully cement. So you have totally do another way. It was not the case, for example, of agriculture in a power plant operation, where we just not cemented, but we just retreated on a certain portion of the well and then they reduce it. So this would be very much interested if it's possible as well in Hungary. Then the main driver of what can be done is the main driver of what is needed is what can be done. Right? So if some geothermal activities can be actually developed, then I think a good portion of the items which are mentioned in this brochure are presented are from sampling and making the laboratory analysis to physical analysis, to the also the rock. Yes, the also rock study interesting. So yeah, a lot of this thing are interesting, and I was personally working on local competences. Generally, it's always better to involve local competences, as I mentioned also in presentation about thermal, rather than only people from around the world, and these are driving to be more and more, and will be interested in reforming.
I think after the session we will discuss it in more details because I have not only an idea, and I'm interested in your opinion, your experience in this field. So
that's really the reference value was my information.
Yeah, yes.
The abandoned and investments. And I was to say I'm an economist and I use some kind of phrases or some sort of theory. But the main thing is that we try to bring something to the project for Internet Central, just for the sake of trying to find a way how to utilize these assets. Because also in Hungary, which you mentioned, in some other places there are abandoned oil vessels, and the project would also deal with what kind of challenges we face when we try to use these, and what kind of technologies could be applied. It's project called the name is Transio, and this is led by Geothermal Institute in Germany, and the position is formed for that. Actually, maybe we can tell that also we try to contact the big oil companies, more about more. There were negotiations. I don't say that they refuse it, but first they said no. I think they try to find and try to see whether we can be successful, and maybe later on they can join. We had good conversations. They were on the edge. It was interesting to see this approach, and it was similar not only for more, but the same for now. Our Austrian partners try to convince them. Although we gained as a very good partner the Hungarian mining state-owned company, which is operating the laterals of the thermal mines and the environmental management of the thermal mine fields. And they also have some hundreds of abandoned wells, and we try to find pilot ones for which we can do it, and later on maybe there could be a chance of following. So that's why it was interesting to give that information.
Yes, that's a big. So, for example, the exploitation of abandoned wells would be a very good example of something that is interesting for the community and can involve a lot of companies. And it's
A huge amount of abandoned well we are talking.
Yes.
So more than a couple of years and more than 20,000 will be looking about. So it's good.
Do you also have a lot?
Yeah, we have also as well, because in the for us, for Italy in the 70s, there was a lot of investigation all over Italy to understand if we could have some oil and gas potential. And we have in Latvia, we have but it was also a very good characterization for what is the geothermal potential. And the same was in Croatia. We went to the Croatian carbon and because there was also an oil and gas company interested in that, but
not easy to discuss this further on.
No, that is the issue because they might be afraid of sharing information which becomes valuable for other oil and gas companies. And then they are thinking to the number of the oil and gas industry. Yeah.
Possible way to with the technology which we develop.
The challenge is not the technology. How we do something very small and might be difficult to find it on the market. General size is from more than 1 megawatt better and the scale of the pilot version. So that is the main complication. But the
Nemes Energy has a pilot in Hungary, which is at half megawatts.
You're right. Yeah.
Around half megawatts.
That's also. Yeah.
No, not really. Unfortunately.
For example, Gatherus is developed by an American company in Aspect Energy. She's from Birmingham somehow. He became aware Then geothermal potential, when we should be providing that.
The OGV. This company is OGV.
Aspect energy. Then there is another one, I think, as well.
There are many small, smaller subsidiaries in Hungary, so I cannot follow them. Don't know some bigger TD, OG, Armenia. I remember, but not this company.
This is what Ferry was mentioning. I can put there. This is
if you can share.
Yes, this is maybe it's not their official page, but it is a link where we write about this. Where to send Dario this link?
Send to her email. Or in chat. But yeah, I think you are not connected.
So maybe if you have a Viber or Messenger or another WhatsApp, then you can write in Geothermal. Yeah. Yeah. It's where I found it is you write and think geoenergy and be it.
Okay, think geoenergy.
That's just article about energy and WE. This is the one that's the news about it. This the presenter from
Sì, ammazza le zanzare.
Christina, do we have any question on Mate? Do we have any question?
Okay. They don't hear, so maybe we can raise our voice when discussing, because they don't hear very well the discussion here.
Christina, Mate, do you have any question?
No, for me, no, thank you.
No, for me neither. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think in this case we can close this
session. Yes. Thank you for participating and apologize for the technical problems that we had. Yes, and I would like to thank all you for your interesting presentation and interesting pitches. I would like to thank the CAPES cluster and Fedor and colleagues, and yes, and I would like to thank also the Geoenergy Europe project, because I forget before to say that both CAPES and Co.Svi.G are partner within the Geoenergy Europe cluster, which is a meta cluster of European clusters engaged in the geothermal sector. We group more than 600 companies from this sector, and our project aims to, the project financed by the European Union, the activity aims to enter to third country markets, including Canada, Chile, Costa Rica, and Kenya. We will make the next market visit in Kenya. So as I was saying before, Ferenc, sorry, and then during the next fall we will organize other activities within this project. So let's stay connected, and yes, this is all for the project. And before saying you goodbye, I would like to inform you that if you are interested in meeting some of our companies, or Alicia is not here anymore, but if some Italian company is interested in meeting the Hungarian companies, can write us an email, and we can organize virtual meetings, to B2B meetings, to see if it's possible to build opportunities for next collaborations between Italian and Hungarian companies. So we are available. We are available for this virtual session up to the 6th of July. But of course, if after the summer you would like to contact some of our companies, you are more than welcome. So thank you, and see you to the next time. Hoping to hear you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.